I'm Jenn. Prior to joining Spaulding Ridge, I went to The Ohio State University and I studied finance and graduated with a degree in business. DEI is important to me because as a woman, I grew up wanting to go into finance, which I knew was going to constantly be a challenge to be a woman in the industry. And now in tech, women are also less represented than our male counterparts. I want to make sure that people are properly advocated for and given the voice in the room to feel like they are given an equal opportunity and the right environment to thrive. When I joined, immediately I remember Sarah Katz, our president, gave me a call and started to pitch ideas to me about more so out of Spaulding Ridge, how she wanted to better serve and advocate for women in tech. And it felt really empowering to be a sounding board for a woman who is going to bat to advocate for other women and provide the right opportunities. And from that day on, I've been very involved in our Women Elevate Council. So working with other women to collaborate and figure out how we can better both integrate our male allies as well as make sure that we're bringing to leadership how we can best be supported and elevated throughout our time at Spaulding Ridge. Now, as a woman in leadership, it's incredibly important for me to be able to provide that same experience and that same level of support to all of our junior bandmates that maybe Sarah provided for me on that day one experience. So continuing to advocate, to be that voice, to be vulnerable in front of other women and share my experience with our allies as well to make sure that more and more people are aware and educated about how they could better create a more inclusive environment for women at Spaulding Ridge and outside. I had a recent actual mentor to me, another woman in leadership. I really started to open up to her and felt vulnerable and felt like I was able to voice really some of my maybe insecurities or areas of improvement that I was maybe in a little bit of denial of. And I remember feeling so heard. So for me to have a mentor that allowed me to feel like I didn't need to impress or didn't need to have a plan in front of, it meant the world to me. And it actually allowed me to get a lot more out of our relationship because I knew that she had a similar experience and that she could empathize with what I was going through, so we could come up with an actionable plan for me to continue to grow and get to the next level in my role. When I'm looking for a mentor, it really goes back to what I was just talking about of who is someone that I could be my true authentic self with. And it'll take time. Be open, be vulnerable, voice your concerns. The way that they respond may better suit you so you could take action and continue to kind of open up and peel back the onion a little bit so you can continue to get coached and mentored properly. I actually saw it as a benefit to use an individual that wasn't of my same profile so we could gain perspective from one another and ultimately learn from one another. Again, it goes back to vulnerability and finding somebody that you're comfortable with. It could be a little bit more daunting. Say for me, in my instance, it was having a mentor that was a male. But I found that he wanted to support me and he was open to hearing me and my feedback in the same regard that I was open to hearing his, even though he might not be able to relate entirely to my position or the shoes that I was in.